I would like to take a few minutes to say or sing or recite an ode to excellence, to taste the aroma, to feel the shape, and to plumb the form of the thing that we call excellence. As this Apex Day in the academic calendar of TUT was approaching, I had visions, visitations, and reminiscences of this creature called excellence. Sometimes excellence shows up with the crystal clear clarity of a cloudless day in Limpopo, where I grew up. At other times, excellence looks like a faraway horizon beyond the Drakensberg Mountain. There are times when excellence seems to be blowing in the whirlwind like a stray page from a newspaper at a time of news blackout, so that one has to give chase, reaching but never quite grasping the page that is blowing in the wind. There are times when excellence seems to tease us, to torment us, to circle us, to tantalize us in ways that tickle the brain and fire up our imagination. So, if excellence was an aroma, what would it smell like? And if it was a taste, how bittersweet would it be? Were excellence a musical instrument, would it sting like a piano or soothe like a saxophone? I think if excellence was a song, it would bear the sound of the beautiful and well-schooled soprano voice of Pritiende singing Panis Angelicus. Or maybe excellence would thunder like the rolling harmonies of Ladysmith Black Mambazo when they sing Passage to Promise to the exhilarating accompaniment of Andreas Vollenweider, that Swiss electroacoustic harpist. And if excellence was a soccer star, its name would be Patrick Let Them Dance Molala, that great dribbling wizard who, as well as playing for Pretoria Kelly's soccer club, also doubled up as an Azapo political activist. Maybe it would come in the guise of Argentinian Diego Maradona, to whom God once lent a hand with which he scored a winning goal against England in the 1986 FIFA World Cup. If excellence was a dancer, its dance prowess would be akin to that of the nimble-footed Johnny Clegg, or maybe it would be like Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk. And if excellence was a book, it would read like Paulo Coelho's bewitching classic, The Alchemist, or maybe it would read like the Neapolitan novels of the anonymous Italian author called Elena Ferrante. Maybe we should look at excellence through the lens and through the mirror of the great researchers and the great scientists who have gone before us. Like one of the greatest physicists of all time, Albert Einstein, he of the E=mc² fame. Excellence might look like the majestic work of Ben Okri, who wrote the book The Famished Road. Maybe excellence might look like the indomitable Wangari Maathai, who led the Green Belt movement. Excellence might look like the riveting work of Tanzanian novelist Abdul Razak Gurna, winner of the 2021 Nobel Prize in Literature. And perhaps we might see excellence personified in the form of a middle-aged mathematician with a soaring mind from Tübingen in Germany. He who in the early 1600s had to race across his native land in the midst of winter to go and save his elderly mother from being burnt as a witch. His name is Johannes Kepler, one of the very first astronomers, qua astronomer, perhaps the greatest scientist who ever lived. Excellence looks like the poetically inclined young mathematician called Ada Lovelace, daughter of iconic poet Lord Byron. She, whose love for and excellence in mathematics could not cure her from the love of poetry. She, who was arguably the first person ever to write a computer program. Maybe excellence is personified in the life of a 12-year-old called Maria Mitchell, the girl who grew up in Nankutef off the coast of Massachusetts, USA, in the early 1830s. Guess what Maria Mitchell's favorite childhood toy was? It was a shiny brass telescope, which she and her mom took up to the roof every night so that she could gaze at the Milky Way. Excellence resides in the work of those whom Walter Isaacson has aptly named the innovators in a book by that title. Vannevar Bush, von Neumann, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and many others. Excellence is the mind-blowing artistic works of Zweli Dumile, Giel Boy Mkachi Feni, otherwise known as Dumile Feni. Excellence is the exquisite pottery of Noria Mabasa from Shigalo village and the sculptures of Jackson Tlungwani from Kambokota in Limpopo. He who dared to sculpt an image of the leg of God. Excellence is the elegant clothes designing work of David Kale, our own alumnus, and the breathtaking Debele art of the magician of the world called Esther Mahlangu. Excellence is the intoxicating jazz song of Winston Mankuku Ngozi, Yakhali inkomo, zabuya inkomo emasimini, ejakula mathole eqhibitheka. Excellence is the exceptional entomologist, short story writer, and legal scholar. His name was Eugene Marais, author of the groundbreaking entomology book, first published in 1937, Die Ziel van die Mier, The Soul of the White Ant. It's one of the most fascinating books I have ever read on a subject I should know absolutely nothing about. Yes, there is excellence galore in the groundbreaking work being performed by the glittering galaxy of South Africa's best of the best. That is the 130 or so A-rated researchers in this country. Indeed, the mantle of excellence is also worn deservedly by the stellar cast of exceptional colleagues who are members of the South African Academy of Science. Excellence does not always come in the form of the utterly solemn and the dead serious. Sometimes excellence presents itself in the hilarious skits and antics of the irrepressible Trevor Noah, who, because he was the child of a black mother and a white father in apartheid South Africa, describes himself as one who was born a crime. Maybe excellence comes in the guise of such great South African actors as Charlize Theron, Thembi Mtshali, Joe Mafela, Leleti Khumalo, Pearl Thusi, Sello Makeka-Ncube, and John Kani. Excellence is a multicolored and a multifaceted thing of beauty and elegance. Such is the nature of excellence that it shows up wherever there are those who espouse it, wherever there are those who pursue it consistently, day by day, week by week, month by month, year in and year out, regardless of their areas of expertise and regardless of the sector in which they work. Wherever and whenever we meet up with excellence, in sport, in art, in music, in poetry, in science, when we encounter excellence, we recognize it immediately. Such is the thing called academic excellence, the very reason we are gathered here tonight. Academic excellence always shines through. It always rises above the mundane and the profane of academia. Like cream, academic excellence always rises to the top. Like the waters of the Dinokeng tsa TUT, academic excellence is unstoppable. Academic excellence will not be cowed by material want, and it will not be bowed by delayed or even non-existent recognition or acknowledgement. Excellent academics always rise to the occasion, not because of their working conditions, not because of where they come from, but in spite of their working conditions and in spite of the socio-economic background from which they come. Such is the caliber of men and women whom we have come to celebrate tonight. Each and every one of them, each in her and his unique way, have passed the muster and proved their mettle. Each one of them has done more than the bare minimum required of them. Each one of them has gone way beyond the call of duty. Otherwise, their names would not be called out today. These are the colleagues who carry the integrity of the academic project at the Tshwane University of Technology on their shoulders. These are the custodians of our growing global stature. When American poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote a poem titled Success, he might as well have been writing about the brilliant colleagues we shall honor today. As we to higher levels rise, the heights by great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. Similarly, the colleagues we shall honor today did not fall into excellence by accident. Excellence is never the outcome of luck or even fate. It is always the result of constant and consistent self-application, what Longfellow calls toiling upwards in the night. In the process of their toil, these colleagues have become the exemplars of the TUT strategic commitment to future readiness. They have become the models of the TUT obsession with impactful research, examples of TUT's preoccupation with problem-solving innovation, as well as our will not only to bend the future in the direction of technology, but also to keep the People's University moving from good to great. Our brilliant colleagues deserve our hearty congratulations. Thank you very much.